Hi, welcome back to the show with me, Jo Whiley, and my guests, Marianne Faithfull, Terry Hall and Jane Middlemiss. So during the summer of 1979, the ska-influenced sound of two-tone emerged from a fusion of punk and British reggae, originating from the most unlikely of cities, Coventry. The two-tone label was established and paved the way for this infectious sound to take the British charts by storm. 20 years on, has it stood the test of time?
Grab yourself a seat. This may not be uptown Jamaica, but we promise you a treat. Bust the phone me over with your boulders and shuffle me off my feet. Even if I kept on running, I'd never get to Orange Street. So I say there's not much left to say for the man who set the beat. So I leave it up to you out there to get him back on his feet. This place is coming like a ghost town. Bands won't play no more. Too much fighting on the dance floor.
Okay, Terry, it seems fitting to start with you, talking about two-tone.
Why?
Just a hunch, you know. Why was it so successful, two-tone, do you think?
I have no idea, because it's like the real memory I have of that label and was us stamping our single sleeves and just having faith in what we were doing, and also trying to avoid moving to London. That was the biggest thing. And trying to keep it away from the music business, really. And didn't matter what it sold or who it sold to or anything. It was just like the idea of like we could do that at home and maybe put money into something at home, like build a youth club or whatever. And we did.
Yeah. Can you remember being on Top of the Pops for the first time?
The first time, yes. And a stage manager or a floor manager came up to me and said, "Smile." So I didn't, and it was like, then you get stuck with this thing about never smiling. But it really was like, watch the birdie, say cheese, and it was like, you know, it's not really comfortable.
The lifespan of the specials was fairly short. Was that intentional or inevitable?
I just left. I didn't mean to leave, but I just left. It was like...
Why did you leave?
Well, we were, again, it was like we were great when we were in England, but every time we left England, it was always weird, and it was like, trying to talk to people and trying to make them understand why we were actually in a band was quite, and we used to do a lot of talking and a lot of arguing, really. And we had our own idea of why we were in a band and what we wanted to do. And it was pretty much like a community project, but it sort of diluted when we went to Norway or something. We were on a festival with, I don't know. I remember playing with Van Halen once and it made very little sense. Absolutely no sense. But that's how you end up. You end up playing with Van Halen, so you split it up, really.
You're glad that you did at that time?
Absolutely fantastic at that point, after Ghost Town.
Yeah.
It would have been weird doing it after that. And
did two-tone, the whole scene, mean anything to you growing up in Newcastle as a girl?
I don't really think so. I think the whole two-tone scene, because I was sort of, I think all I saw it as was good music. I wasn't aware that this was changing different perceptions about different things.
It was pop music.
It was pop music to me. That's what it was.
Yeah. And were you aware at the time, or when you were doing the specials, that you'd become this pop band and the pop music you were making?
And that's what split us up, because it's like, I mean, it sounds like so heavy, but it was. It was. It's like we never ever did a gig when we sold records, and there wasn't a disturbance. There was like serious trouble at our gigs, and it's like, you know, I turned up in Hatfield one night and there were ambulances. You couldn't even get into the gig because there was like, at that point there was a growing thing with the National Front, and they would come to our gigs, and Zeke Kyle, and we'd actually chase them out the gigs, and you know, me and Jerry got arrested for it, and we got, you know, it was very heavy, but we were trying to convince people that it wasn't good.
Yeah.
You know, that it wasn't a good thing. It was like we went through death threats, and it's like, you know, 2 blacks and a Jew fronting this band, and it was like not great really, but it was our belief, and it was our belief. We didn't really consider, I never ever once considered that I was any different to anyone else, and that was our strongest belief really. And it's very difficult. Being a pop band is very difficult.
Yeah.
To actually change things, and you
Because
just hope
by
it
its
filters
very nature,
through.
it's so trivial and transitory, and in a way this is what we all love about it.
Yeah.
But these things that come out of these intense ideals, and you were absolutely right, and things had to be changed. And I'm not sure that that the specials didn't change things. I'm sure
No, we
every
did.
time
We
you
did.
confront something like the National Front and say, this is not okay, you are doing one of the strange missions of a pop band is to teach. And yet this is what you did. I mean, it's kind of weird to come out and say that, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
And you know that.
Yeah.
Consider yourself told.
No, I will.
You don't have to tell
I
it.
will all night.
No, you know that. All right.